Hi, I'm Dr. Grung. I'm a consultant psychiatrist. Today, I briefly wanted to talk about soft skills communication. Communication is a bread and butter in my field of work, which is psychiatry, and communication is also very important in every walk of life. Today, I briefly wanted to talk about two areas of communication which I feel is quite ignored. One of the areas is whenever people communicate, they forget to discuss about what is the reason why certain people want to communicate. So in order to make things easier, it's important we ask people, if someone wants to talk to you, please check their ideas and expectation what they want to talk. And this I also found it quite interesting in the school area. In school, when kids want to talk to the teacher always asks this kids, if they want to talk, do they want to talk about certain topic, do they want to be heard, do they want to be loved, or do they want to be listened? Okay, so whenever we communicate, we need to be very clear with the ground rules of why we communicate. And the other thing, while I did a 10k Mercy Gate tunnel, and today I had a chance to discuss with and meet a lot of new people. And the skills that I use today is something called share. So let me just share you the techniques which I use today, which is share. SHARE. With S, you have to be very clear on the standing on the topic that you want to discuss. H is you have to make sure that you heard whatever the other person says. Give time for the other person to be felt as if they are listened. A is it's very important to address. Addresses, people like to be addressed by their first name or the name, so at least they know that they are listened to. R is repeat value. So in communication, I've also realized that we also need to learn the skills of using metaphor, using stories, and making things connectable. And E is emotion. Whenever we discuss, we need to show the enthusiasm, and it also needs to come with emotion. For example, if I'm talking about something which is very sad, then my vocal tone and my body language, everything have to be par in the same wavelength that I want to communicate. So just to end this short video, the thing I want to recap is in communication, two things that I want to discuss today is you need to be very clear of the ground rule on the communication. So the ground rule in communication is you need to be clear about ideas and expectations, as well as you need to know why the other person want to communicate. In a lot of the communication which I find, especially in couple, is when wife wants to communicate with you, sometimes they just want to be heard, they don't want solution. So if you are clear about what is the topic of the conversation, it becomes easy to communicate and relate. The second concept which I have just shared is something called share. Share is H. The topic of standing in which you are discussing needs to be clear. H is you have to make sure the other person is heard. A means you need to address the person by the first name, so they feel as if they know. And R is repeat. In order to increase the repeat value of the conversation, you need to use skills like metaphor, storytelling, which helps to connect yourself. And E is it also needs to come with emotions. Emotions means you need to be aware of how to channelize your verbal and non-verbal communication when you're addressing sadness, happiness. So this is some of the things which might be very helpful for people listening to this. Thank you. Take care.